In 2024, Formula One will be going to more racetracks than it has ever gone to in a single season. 24 races across the globe, and even with all these rounds, there are still some amazing tracks that are loved by the fans and drivers that still miss out. Instead, we go to the likes of Vegas, Miami, and Qatar, tracks that are uninspiring and so far quite lackluster in terms of wheel-to-wheel racing. With all that being said, which tracks would I love to see back on the F1 calendar? Let's start with a highly requested circuit and the only track that I have ever been to. Last raced by F1 in 2017, it has provided some amazing moments like Multi 21 in 2013 or Hamilton's engine going pop in 2016. The Sepang International Circuit was the venue of the Malaysian Grand Prix from 1999 to 2017. Located approximately 45 kilometers south of the capital, Kuala Lumpur, the Sepang International Circuit had a layout that was liked both by the fans and the drivers. The track was extremely good for racing due to the layout and flow of the circuit, which allowed for cars to go back and forth for most of the lap. Designed by Hermann Tilke, the Sepang International Circuit is arguably his greatest work. But what makes this such a good track? Let's go over the layout. The Sepang International Circuit sits at a length of 5.5 kilometers with 15 turns and a track width of 16 to 20 meters, making it the widest track if it was still on the calendar today. Now, let me guide you around Sepang and take you corner by corner using Hamilton's 2017 pole lap. Starting from the start-finish line, we head down the main straight and arrive at a fantastic sequence of corners, turns 1 and 2. In my opinion, these corners are one of the best in the world for wheel-to-wheel racing. You can dive bomb someone into turn 1 or try and go around the outside and take the line for turn 2, or even do a switchback and get the exit to the next braking zone. After that, we head round the flat right-hander of turn 3 and arrive at turn 4. Another place where overtaking is possible and allows for multiple racing lines in and out of the corner. Next is what I like to call the sweepers of turn 5 and 6, two pretty average medium speed corners which flows into the next double apex turn 7 and 8, which is taken like one corner, and onto the short straight leading into the uphill hairpin turn 9. This corner is actually quite challenging as the track rises once you pass the apex, meaning that getting on the power is quite difficult. Then flat through 10 before arriving at 11, which is a tricky medium speed right that leads onto the fast and flat out turn 12, which throws you into turns 13 and 14. One of the most annoying corners in the world. If you've ever played around Sepang on the F1 games, you'll understand just how annoying this corner is. Turn 13 is a slightly off-cambered right-hander which feeds right into turn 14, which is a tight right-hander leading onto the back straight. And so getting that corner right is nearly impossible. After turn 14, we get the back straight which takes us to the last corner, turn 15, which is actually a very off-cambered hairpin, so the ideal line around here would be to go very wide and almost never hit the apex until very late in the corner. And that concludes a lap of the Sepang International Circuit. As you can see from that, Sepang lends itself to great racing while still being a nice and tricky track to drive on. Added to that is the fact that the track is located in a hot, humid tropical country, which gives Sepang the additional benefit of crazy changes in weather conditions that can arise from basically nowhere. All of this is to say, bring back Sepang. Now that I've finished my case for Sepang, let's move on to we last visited Hockenheim during the absolute classic that was the 2019 German Grand Prix. What a Grand Prix that was! Hockenheim has given us some iconic moments like in 2000 when Barrichello won his first race from 18th and Vettel crashing out of the lead in 2017. And as a Vettel fan, that still hurts. Hockenheim started hosting Formula One in 1970 as a one-off, but started to regularly host Formula One races from 1977 to 2006, with the exception of 1985. Then from 2007, Hockenheim hosted every other year until we eventually stopped going in 2019 due to financial issues. Two layouts have been used. The old layout was a high-speed blast through the forest, while the newer post-2001 layout, which was designed by Hermann Tilke, shortened the track and changed the character of the circuit. Located in the town of Hockenheim, the track today stands at 4.5 kilometers and consists of 17 turns. Hockenheim, unlike Sepang, isn't a very wide track. In fact, in Sector 3, in the stadium section, the track is barely wide enough for two cars to go side by side. Like we did before, let's go over the track layout. Starting the lap, we head down the main straight and arrive into the extremely quick Turn 1, which is only a slight tap on the brakes in Formula 1. Then, down the short straight before we arrive at turns 2, 3, 4, which is just a slow right-hander that leads onto the longest straight on the circuit. The curved straight counts as turn 5, and at the end of the straight lies the best overtaking zone on the circuit, the turn 6 hairpin. Then another blast down the short straight before a flat kink of turn 7, and then we arrive at turns 8 and 9 and 10 at the Mercedes grandstand. After that comes the heart of the Hockenheim circuit, the iconic stadium section. Turn 11 is a medium-speed right-hander that fires you right into the banked turn 12 and then into 13, 14, 15 and 16 all in quick succession before heading to the finish line. Honestly, I don't know if it's just me, but I find that entire final sector just extremely satisfying. There's just a great flow through there, and the rest of the track as well is pretty good for racing in general. I think I speak for all fans when I say that we want Hockenheim to come back on the calendar. We need a German Grand Prix on the calendar, especially in 2026, as we're gonna have two German manufacturers on the grid in the form of Audi and Mercedes. Moving on from Hockenheim, let's head back to Asia and another track designed by Hermann Tilke. Formula 1 went to the Bern International Circuit 3 times from 2011 to 2013, and only one person has ever won there, Sebastian Vettel. Of course, the most memorable thing that most of us remember from that period was Vettel doing donuts on the main straight after winning his 4th World Championship. Simply iconic. I had almost completely forgotten how good this track was until I watched the MotoGP race a while ago. Watching those MotoGP bikes flow around the Bern International Circuit really made me want to go and see Formula 1 back there. The Bern International Circuit held the Indian Grand Prix from 2011 to 2013. Located about 50 kilometers southeast of New Delhi, the Bern International Circuit is 5.1 kilometers long and comprises of 16 turns. The Bern International Circuit, being one of the new Tilke-designed Formula 1 tracks, is very wide, which allows for more room for racing. Let's have a look at the track, shall we? On the main straight and heading down, we hit turn 1, a 90-degree right-hander that drops away at the exit, and then through turn 2, which rises up to turn 3, which is like a less extreme version of turn 1 at Koda. From there, you head on to the extremely long straight, which is over a kilometer long. Then we arrive at the best overtaking spot on the circuit, turn 4, which is a tight right-handed corner. From here on in, the track really comes into its own. Turn 5 is a medium speed corner that feeds right into the quick left-right turn of turn 6 and 7. Then a small respite before another quick chicane that leads into the wonderful turn 10 and 11, a super long medium speed corner similar to Spoon Curve in Suzuka. Then onto another quick sequence of corners at turn 13 and 14 before rising up for turn 15 and then dropping back down for the final corner to complete the lap. The Bern International Circuit was one of my favorites when it was still on the F1 games. The flow through Sector 2 was amazing and the raceability of the track was actually pretty good. Honestly, I think with these current ground effect regs, the racing around here would be quite enjoyable since there aren't that many slow speed corners other than the main overtaking opportunities. Along with that, India is a massive market that F1 should try and bring back into. I would love to see an Indian Grand Prix back on the calendar instead of Vegas or Miami.